are now in the draft of game number 3. It's Fnatic versus TeamLiquid. Let's see if the boys in blue can turn it round.
We have the draft, of course, started, and Tomb of the Spider Queen might theoretically be the last map of the day here. TeamLiquid, they haven't really found a way to deal with Fnatic yet. The draft, the way that it worked here, was a first ban by TeamLiquid on Sonya. Makes a lot of sense. We've seen how good Fnatic is with the hero. The reaction of Fnatic was to ban out Khaldor, and that dropped now into the hands for TeamLiquid at Tyrande, with once again Fnatic starting with Stutter and etc.
Yeah, very cool to see the Tyrande sneaking her way through once again. She's been effective in all the games we've seen her in, and we can see why she does get banned quite a lot, but she did actually lose at least one of the games we saw her in today. Might have been. Was that the only game we saw her in today?
Might be, yeah. I mean, we have for now Muradin chosen, which of course combos perfectly with Tyrande. You want to get that sniper squad, and that is one of the moments when they could go into Jaina, exactly. Or they could simply go and take the Uther here. Depends a bit, like they can still ban him out, so they have definitely a few ways of how they can deal with the situation. But a Jaina for them would also mean that we are most likely going to see Mane again on Stutter. He played the hero already in one of the previous games. So this is where TeamLiquid can start to branch out, but if they want to have the burst damage, they would go for Jaina. They decide, though, to go for lane pressure instead.
Yeah, Zagara, very strong, especially on this map. You get a huge amount of vision and lane control over the bottom lane, and that also coincidentally gives you vision over the turn-in point, thanks to those creep tumors basically being in the jungle, which is the turn-in point from bottom lane.
What I'm curious about is more so the ban now for TeamLiquid, because what I want to know is if they really just stand, like as a standard, ban out Tyrael again. That is something that concerns me a little bit, because I think they have done that in every single game that we casted so far, and maybe they just made the decision for this tournament in particular that for some reason they don't want to deal with Tyrael. But if that is going to become a standard second pick for them, it would make them way too predictable, and they have to be careful about it. We still have other heroes that are very likely to be banned out here. We are still talking about that Uther, for example. But let's have a look at what Fnatic does first.
Yeah, there's plenty of options for Liquid to ban out, but mostly, like you said, the Uther and the Tyrael would be very good for them just to deal with that ATC. And Fnatic, TeamLiquid have a very good composition. A Raider is a solid ban here. He's a very good hero against the ETC, for example. So it's quite nice to just try and just get rid of him, prevent that huge auto attack damage coming in. There's the Uther ban from Liquid, so they leave the Tyrael, and that means Fnatic can pick that up to combo with the ETC.
All right, I like that a lot. So it would be a bit too narrow-minded if you would just go standard for every single second ban with Tyrael here. Of course, that allows Tyrael right now, which is still a very good combo with ETC, but it's not as dangerous as the Uther Divine Shield into the ETC mosh pit. So Fnatic, they are picking up Jaina. That was a bit to be expected with that mosh pit opportunity. And now we still have that Tyrael around, of course, that they could pick up as well if they really wanted to. It's one of the first chances, I believe, that they get to take the hero here.
Yeah, so that would be very, very good for them. And that's a question of what they go for at their last pick, because Falstad has actually made it through the bans. It's not as good of a map for him because he can't fly around as much, but still a very solid damage. It's why we see Reyna a bit more on this map compared to
Sylvanas, maybe even as a bit of a counterplay to Zagara could also be happening. I mean, you have some AoE already, so you have Tassadar and you have Jaina, but it is Sylvanas. Yes, she's taken.
Sylvanas also denies that away from TeamLiquid, the silence against the mosh pit, which would be good, and against Jaina is especially good if they can land that well.
And with Zagara.
Oh, yes.
That as well would be pretty strong. TeamLiquid, what they still need is, of course, a bit of damage, and then they need to go for their last pick, which could be... I mean, they could actually go into the Tyrael, to be honest with you. That would be a pretty decent pick for them as well.
They could, in fact, go for the Tyrael. They could even go for Tyrael with something else. They already have their support. And just Tyrael with another very high damage dealer, maybe the Vala, who we've been seeing before.
Vala,
that Strafe combo would be really cool. Strafe into the Sanctification.
Yeah, Vala or Falstad would be really nice. Yeah, I probably would prefer, personally, I probably would prefer the Falstad because he's a seasoned marksman hero. Vala adds a lot. She adds a lot to every setup. Leoric, I was thinking about him as well as the tank here, which helps, of course, with additional pushing pressure. I still feel like Falstad would be very nice there, but I get the feeling. I mean, Vala would be very solid as well.
Yeah, but TeamLiquid, once again, though, with that second tank, they're pretty much ignoring the possibility of a Tyrael and giving it back to Fnatic, whose composition still does allow them to go for it if they want to.
Yeah, it could work for them with the Tassadar if they play him as a solo support and use, of course, Tyrael for the shields as well. But TeamLiquid, they need a bit of range damage, and are they gonna go into a Vala? Is it gonna be that false start? Seasoned Marksman stacks on this map are just absolutely incredible, so I feel that would be a very good choice. But you have very nice control over the turning points as well if you head into that Vala. It's a bit easier, of course, to just like zone out with that composite arrow. They go into the false start zone, and I'm loving this. Seasoned Marksman, as I said, is great here.
And Tyrael completely ignored in this draft phase. We see the Johanna picked up by Fnatic here, who is still very, very strong, but I just expected to maybe see the Tyrael instead just to combo with the ETC and to protect the Jaina a bit.
Yeah, combo with the ETC would be nice, but then again, I really feel that they don't necessarily need a lot of ability or like damage protection in this case. If you look at the setup that we have, there's no Jaina, there's no Khaldor to deal against. The area damage is very limited. It's more the single target damage that TeamLiquid is running. And if you have that ETC, Johanna alone can really already help quite a bit. I mean, I'm okay with that. The Tyrael could have fit, but I feel having a second tank in there that has a bit more of a higher hit point pool and survivability is pretty strong, especially since you run that with the Tacit as the solo support.
The Johanna is also one of the heroes who can actually get out of the situation where she is the main focus and is engaged upon a lot easier than maybe Tyrael can. Tyrael, if you lock him down, there's a good chance he could get burst down, or he can Eldrin's Might only so far. And then you have Johanna, who can just Iron Skin the initial stun, or at least Iron Skin a follow-up, and get out of there maybe with a bit more ease.
That's also when you play Tacit as a solo support for like the shields, I feel you want to have a few heroes that have some self-sustain. The Iron Shield, as you already pointed out, is very strong for that, and you have the Laws of Hope on level 4, which I kind of expect is going to be the talent that we are seeing for her now.
Yeah.
So that helps a little bit more over the Tyrael. Even though one of the things that really speaks for Tyrael on this map is that you can go amplified healing, plus of course the Regeneration Master. We have occasionally even seen, but that was more solo Jaina than anything else, a Regeneration Master talent picked for her.
Yeah, she does become almost unkillable, but she is, that was, like you said, when she was a solo healer.
You can actually kill her?
I see what you did there.
Yeah, in this case, I feel if you're playing this map, you want to have, especially against the lineup that TeamLiquid is running, you want to have that pressure. You want to have Night Take Spawn.
The Night Take Spawn is just super good at just controlling the lanes, and is a bit of a counter in this case to, well, I'd say the counter to just any kind of lane pressure. The Tacit, for example, is going to be very strong on a lane if they decide to put him on his own. But it's more than likely that he will be sent to deal with Zagara, who's also just going to have a super fun lane in the bot lane.
Yeah. That's, he could even, he's not going to go into mental acuity with what we see here.
Yeah, he has to go for the shield, double shields.
Yeah, Color Embrace. Then again, I mean, you can let Leeching Plasma go. That you can let that go and go for Color's Embrace. If you're really having, if you really feel that you need the vision for certain spots, you can do that.
What is the rest of their team? Who's auto attack? So Sylvanas is like the most auto attack focused. I can see them letting go of the Leeching Plasma and going with mental acuity and just keeping Color's Embrace.
We're going to find out right now. The important part here is really that TeamLiquid is with the back to the wall. They lost 2 games already. It is a best of 5. We are here at the final, and if TeamLiquid does not win here on Tomb of the Spider Queen, then the finals are over. So guys, we're going to jump in. The map has started. We're going to look at Tomb of the Spider Queen here with once again to the left side of the map, Fnatic. They are 2-0 in this series. We have currently already Breeze here on ETC, and we have Shat playing Johanna. We're having at the same time Smexy Style playing Tacita for the team. And well, of course, with the rest of the match, we are seeing Quacknix here on Sylvanas. We have Mena on Jaina. We're having to the right side of the map their opponents. And we have the Get-On Head on Tyrande, Vortex on Zagara, Chris on Falstad, Glowal on Leoric, and Lucifon on Mirrodin.
Having a look at some of the level 1 talents, we are seeing the Tyrande going with that Owl build that we were talking about earlier, getting those cooldowns down so that she can do a lot of healing and, of course, keep vision of the map, which is going to be really useful here. Zagara protected very heavily here while she puts her creep tuners down in the bot lane with that reconstitution. Other than that, a lot of Conjurer's Pursuit, and for the first time I think I've ever seen on this map, not a single regen master. The closest to that is the reanimation from the Aura.
That counts.
It counts, but it has a secondary effect. It's like Nerves of Steel.
And guys, if you're actually tuned in a bit later and you don't really know what we were talking about when we talk about the cooldown reduction build for Tyrande, you get a lot of healing power out of Tyrande if you went for Empower on level 1 and you can still take Pierce on level 4. The reason is that Empower does not only reduce the cooldown upon a hit, of your owl, but also of all your other spells. That means and includes your heals. And if you then go also on level 7 into the battle momentum, you can get insane reduction on the cooldown for your healing. And after you get overflowing light on level 13, your numbers are just going to skyrocket. So it's a very powerful build because it gives you damage and it gives you a lot of heal. And it's not as reliant on that stun that we oftentimes see. That range as talent.
I always assumed that Empower only did your owl, and it just blew my damn mind.
As actually, I talked to a couple of the builds that we are seeing for Tyrande with a few of the players on the side of Fnatic and TeamLiquid, and it's pretty sweet actually if you have like these differences between the sniper builds, Ranger, Smart on level 1, going into focused attack, the steering arrow build with Season Marksman that we've also seen here today. A bit of a different focus, but solo Tyrande, if you really want to have the heals and want to be annoying with that Pierce, and of course in power, this is the build to go for, and it is super sweet.
It is really cool to see the huge variance that Tyrande builds can get nowadays. You can even still run her as just the pure ranged assassin. Nothing really changed on her build there. You can still run that very effectively.
Yeah, definitely true. For now, the teams are trying to rotate. It's all about going on lane, getting a few of those regeneration globes, trying to set up something. You have really just movements in general. And it's actually interesting to also once again to note that Fnatic is switching it up. They rotate from mid to top, they rotate from mid to bottom and back. So they always keep the pressure up against all of the heroes and keep especially Zagara at the bottom lane on her toes.
Having a look at some of the talents that we did just get at level 4, we do see the Leaping Plasma coming in from Tastar, not going with that mental acuity. Eternal Retaliation for the Johanna here, because she just wants to wipe out those minion waves as quick as possible. Heart and Bones on the Leoric, and other than that, very usual stuff. We do in fact see the Pierce though on the Tyrande.
Yeah. I was just talking a bit about that Zagara at the bot lane. She is in fact at the top lane here, as we of course already noted earlier. But with that, we have a bit of a switch when it comes to the normal meta of how you play the map here. By now, Tyrande also went into the PS talent. Tetcher was just pointing it out. And we have, with the Heart and Bones for Leoric, also a possibility for him to go into the Lingering Apparition on level 7, which was the most annoying build for Leoric for a long time. These days, it's a bit more common to see Ghastly Reach or Paralyzing Rage taken. Oh, the stuns against Sylvanas, and she is down. Good kill against Fnatic, but there falls that kill following straight since Fnatic rotates around and tries to punish TeamLiquid, and they might even get another kill against Gadamherd.
Gadamherd trying to retreat out of here. Looks like he... Nope, never mind, getting focused out. However, Lucifer was able to pick up most of the gems, at least from Falstad, and Lowell is able to pick up all of the ones from Tyrande there.
Fnatic is just scary. This team is so incredibly strong. TeamLiquid, the last time that they were 0-2 in a best of 5 against Fnatic, they were able to turn things around and win it with a 3-2. This time, let's find out if they can do it again. They lost 2 heroes already this early in the game. And of course, we have also a Webweaver wave pushing against them. The blue Webweavers are now coming into play as Fnatic just turned in the last gems that they needed for it. And here's an earlier level 7 to make things even harder for TeamLiquid to defend.
Fnatic putting on the pressure. Quagnix doesn't get out of there thanks to the Venom Spines from Vortex, actually, is what got the kill on him there. Just the extra poison that he gives with his auto attacks. And that's, as such, it's going to be a bit harder for Fnatic to push, at least to the top lane. And as such, the Webweaver goes down so quickly. So now they're putting pressure on the mid and bottom lanes instead. Mid lane also getting killed off quite quickly because, well, TeamLiquid are just roaming down to the lanes.
We have also now the Endless Creep taken, and in this case, it's Ghastly Reach as the level 7 talent on Leoric. So once again, just like these differences, Ghastly Reach, more of a standard talent in the European scene now, but if you have a heavy melee setup on the opponent, then you oftentimes still go into the Paralyzing Rage because it gives you so much control in the fights itself. Again, the move against Tyrande, and she doesn't survive for even a second as the entire burst damage of Fnatic hits her hard.
Both of these teams have some pretty effective, just low health hero deletion in their composition. So it's just trading kills back and forward at the moment, which is currently in favor of Fnatic, who do have that one kill advantage.
And for now, we have a slight lead into level 9. Creep tumors everywhere on the map. Solid position in the game itself. And also, of course, a pretty significant control over those 2 turn-in spots. They have 50 gems, so in theory, Fnatic could attempt to turn in again.
Yeah, and they're making their way over at least to that area. They're 5 short of getting a full turn-in, but they're just trying to keep lane control for the moment and prevent TeamLiquid from doing any kind of turn-in. Nice storm there from Spectre Style for doing just that, and a good dimensional shift to make sure that he doesn't get caught by the Storm Bolt.
Yeah, they're all fighting about the turning points. Shad down here against Leoric, currently doing his thing. They have Chris on false stat, of course, soaking a few more season marksman stacks. And it's really just a battle between the two teams trying to fight for the turn-ins and for the next set of web weavers. But that level 10 that we see on the horizon for Fnatic would secure them another web weaver wave. And it looks like Fnatic is not going to be stopped here. Shad already with a turn-in attempt, gets done. Can they get the kill against Johanna? They try. Iron Skin used and they move away. No heals and Shad goes down in the last second. That's the chance for TeamLiquid to maybe get even more done out of this, but nope, it's Muradin that dies and it turns it into a 4 versus 4 and level 10 abilities for Fnatic.
Muradin also dropping 33 gems in that death, though. That is a huge deal, losing that many. They still have enough for a turn-in, but losing those and not being able to reclaim them is pretty horrible for TeamLiquid, who are now just trying to continue to prevent the turn-in of Fnatic. Neither of these teams just letting the other one catch a break.
Yeah, it's actually super annoying, and TeamLiquid is hitting level 10 now. They have their level 10s with the March of the Black King with Shadowstalk, so we are suddenly in a situation where they can fight on even talents again. And once more, the stun against ETC. That must be so frustrating right now. I mean, that Tyrande alone with all of these owls is already super annoying to deal with, and then there's a Fawcett as well with that hammer rank. They're getting stunned over and over and over again, but they have nearly all of the gems turned in for another web weaver wave.
Yeah, they're doing their best to get the last couple in, which will give them that wave. Quacknick's going to attempt to sneak it up in the top lane right now. And the Zagara will be able to deny that. Smexy trying to be the bait here to distract from all this going on. Has a dimensional shift though. Nice bait there. Making like he was going up to the mid lane instead, continues down into the bot lane. And there is the full turn-in for TeamLiquid, in fact.
Yeah, Fnatic was not able to secure the last few spots or the last few gems, so well done. Tazza also with that survival just now was really sweet. Had, of course, to move back for a bit of mana and help to the well. We have 11 versus 11 now, 3 kills against 4 in favor of Fnatic, and they have to deal with that web weaver wave. Here they come, red web weavers are on the way, and on all of the lanes we see heroes for TeamLiquid trying to pressure together with them.
Yeah, we're seeing the mid web weaver will already get taken down quite easily here. They're just going to leave that for the towers, in fact. But web weaver is very heavily supported though, so they need to be careful of that. And Liquid going to be pushing in all the way to the 4 here, trying to catch Tastar as well, but good dimensional shift by Smexy.
Yeah, Lucifer jumped really deep for that potential kill, but always these shifts that we're seeing on Tastar. Nice move shot, also dodging that stun here. Breeze has to be careful as well, but of course if he can slide in from the top and flank and get maybe even a mosh pit, that would be amazing, but they already found him and are trying to zone him off.
Yes, spotted by a creep tumor. We were talking about this. Trying to gank on this map when you're against the Gar is a huge pain because she just puts her creep everywhere.
Yeah, you can say that again. I mean, it's everywhere at this point. It's like from the mid lane to the top lane. Everywhere you go, there are creep tumors and vision on the map, so it's absolutely beautiful for them. Once again, Shad, Lucifer, Low, they're all starting to get into position again. We have still a position where we could see a turn-in for the opponent's team. Fnatic is trying to get that. Fnatic has already that lead in the series, and we have now level 12 versus level 12 here. A very, very even and close game between the two of them.
Yeah, these two teams just running each other all the way up to the end here. And Maynard just playing very far back. He knows he is one of the squishier ones, so if he gets caught out by, say, the Muradin or Gerdenheld there, then he's going to be in serious trouble. Breeze trying to zone out Lol, so Quackness can finally get the final remaining gems they need, and he does get it with a nice stun by Breeze.
Body blocks the entire time, and then he also makes sure that he hits that stun. Very well done. Great job by Breeze, and now they have the web weavers pushing in. That will result in them getting level 13 with the towers that they can drop here to the top lane. But already the attempt by TeamLiquid to put them into a fight. Here comes the Shadowstalk. Already the attempt with the Force Wall to zone them out. But it looks like Fnatic is able to retreat here. And that's the web weavers push for free in the mid lane and the bot lane. Great move by Fnatic. Very nice rotation back. And TeamLiquid didn't really get anything out of this and is now up against the level 13 talent.
Fnatic aren't actually done with this. They continue to push in. They try to get Vortex after a great Force Wall, but the Maw will allow Vortex to get out of here quite nicely here. And that will allow Liquid to pick up that web weaver, finish it off. However, like you said, mid lane and bot lane have still been pushing while this is going on.
And that means that the fort is now going to fall as well. The level 13 talents give us hold your ground groupies. We have also the ice block on Jaina. And with the Prescience taken on Tassadar, we have so far with Sylvanas, also another hero next to Tatata that went into a very, very sustainable talent. Thanks to, of course, the spell shield, which is going to help against quite a bit of that ability damage that we're seeing on the side of Team Liquid.
There are the level 13 talents for Team Liquid as well. The Overflowing Light coming in from the Tyrande. The Mutalisk, of course, for the Zagara. Giant Killer on the Falstad. Crushing Hope, another percentage-based damage, 10% extra if the entirety of Drain Hope does land from Leoric. And the Thunderstrike, not too unusual there, from the Muradin.
Yeah, and we still have the entire time throughout the game a Fnatic moving over the map and taking down these creep tumors. It's like they're trying to clean up behind Zagara, and it must be really frustrating at this point because no matter where they go, they're going to find creep again.
Being against Zagara is like having an infant. You'll never be done cleaning up after it.
Yeah, it's pretty much exactly that. Silence hit, already the Wailing Arrow in use, but we have once more everybody just moving away from Fnatic. They are playing a very, very smart game here. They are half a level ahead of their opponents. They were dropping 2 of the forts already, and that puts them into a lead. We have 83 gems on the other hand on the side of Team Liquid, and that's of course a massive lead for them if they can keep them and turn them in.
Yeah, only 3 needed to be turned in by Fnatic, and Mader's trying to sneak his way down there. Smexy having to pull back though. He took quite a bit of harassment. Lucifron actually is going to get his gems in by the looks of it.
Yeah.
So that is a start. In fact, a very fast start, 1 gem away for Team Liquid to get their full turn in. And while all this is going on, we see 2 heroes in the top turn-in area, and that will be a set of Web Weavers going over to Team Liquid.
Well done, well done. So in this case, they get another objective. It's actually been back and forth with the objectives here. It was like one turn after another, the 2 teams doing a very solid move with this, trying to protect them, of course, as well. 5 kills against 3, as we just saw a kill against Tyrande again. She's really having a tough time here. Gerd has been playing a great tournament, but right now he's really struggling quite a lot because Team Fnatic is actively searching for him on the map and always attempting to take him down. Shat now in the same situation. He's eliminated. Shat going down here. That, of course, drops one of the Fnatic players. So it's at least a bit of a trade that we are seeing. And for Team Liquid, this is actually like pretty decent because Tyranda's already back. So she will be on lane in time to push with this setup. And that kill against Shat was a big one. So Fnatic is in a bit of a pickle now. They have to defend with 4 heroes for another 20 seconds.
Team Liquid, though, putting all of their eggs in the bot lane basket. And they're pushing in as hard as they can with this Web Weaver. Top and mid lane are already dead. But like you said, they're going to have a man advantage, so Fnatic have to group up to try and deal with this push. And that means they'll be grouping up with an unfavorable man numbers. However, Johanna has just come back, so now they're going to be able to take this down before it gets too much work done in the bot lane.
All right, he was for a second a bit far out there, but now we have in the mid lane again the push happening. And that is going to drop another wall. 16 versus 15 talents. And that, of course, puts, again, Fnatic, if only for a few seconds, in a slight lead and forces Team Liquid back. It's going to be 16 versus 16 in a moment now, though. And we have, again, a lot of imposing presence taken on the side of Team Fnatic, at least that is.
Yeah, we have 2 imposing presence, in fact, from the Johanna and the ETC here. We have the Ranger actually is coming down from the Tyrande here, so getting that healing. Good engagement there onto Muradin, trying to burst him down, but he is going to get out just in time here. And we're going to see them. They're not done yet with that Shadow Storm. They're trying to move in, maybe pick up a kill. Smexy getting drained, but he will be able to get out of this. Chris just going to get rid of all of his gems. Still only 3 gems left for a turn-in by Fnatic.
Yeah, Fnatic needs only 3 gems, but we have enough gems for Team Liquid as well to get a turn-in now. And that would be exactly what they need here, but Fnatic is a bit faster. They get their own turn-in. As I said, it's just like turn-in for turn-in. The 2 teams, they rotate. They have 1 each the entire time. 16 versus 16 talents. This is such a close game once again. Every time they fight for every inch on this map. Zagara is just spitting creep out everywhere. Another Shadow Stalk, by the way. It just shows how incredible this cooldown reduction is with Empower on level 1 and on level 7, the battle momentum.
Yeah, we can keep an eye on it now. 34 seconds remaining on it, so we'll keep an eye on that depending on and see when she throws out another Owl to get some even more cooldown reduction on that. For now, there we go. Owl immediately coming through, and that is a 15-second cooldown after hitting all of those members. It's such a cool build.
It is a great build, and it really helps you a lot with that heal. And not only, of course, the heal itself, but also the rogue ability, in case you thought it was only the basic abilities that affect that. That's not the case.
No, it's all the abilities. It's pretty good. For now, though, Fnatic putting as much pressure as they can. There is that Shadow Stalk already back. And they're going to try and get a kill out of this. They've managed to find Johanna. Good silence, though, and the mosh pit interrupted finally by the Mighty Gus, but Muradin is already taken out.
Yeah, Leoric going through the March of the Black King, so he needs to be sure that he is at least able to use his Wraith Walk, and apparently he's in cooldown. He drops all of his gems, falls on it, and it is a quad kill. Fnatic is again on it, and they will move through the keep at the bot lane. They easily eliminate it. Can they go for core? They go, and they will. It might be the end of the game, ladies and gentlemen. It might be the end of the finals. Fnatic, they want to take it with a 3-0. They are 2 level ahead. Only Zagara is still down. 4 seconds on Muradin. Leoric is back, but it looks like it's too late.
Yeah, Leoric, his heroic has already been used. Lucifer's back, he's going to try and delay this, but there's too much damage on the Korra. That will be GG. And we will see Fnatic take the series in a 3-0. Incredible play by them.
Wow.
Yeah.
A 3-0 in the finals after the games that we've seen in the 2 semis here. Absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, and then...